In this video, we're going to put together the projects we sewed in the last videos and create a bag that lights up when your phone is inside. How cool is that? Sewing accessories is as much fun, if not more fun, than sewing clothes. But before we get started, pause the video and ask yourself, how would you solve this problem? Imagine a friend comes up to you and says, hey, you're good at sewing. Can you make my bag light up when my phone is inside? So pause the video and think, how would you solve this problem? There are lots of ways to do this project, and the one you come up with might even be better than the one described here. Basically, we're going to be making just another button, except this time, instead of having felt separate the two conductive sides, we're going to have a phone. This project is not going to use the photon. It's easy to add in, but to keep things a little more simple, we are just going to use a sewable LED and the battery. But the photon is included in the kit, so if you want to, you can wire it in yourself. So, to get started, measure the size of your phone so you know how big a pocket you need. My phone is 4 inches by 5 inches, so that's the size of pocket I'm going to cut out. And the cool thing about this is you can let your imagination run free and make any shape pocket you want. To make things a little easier, I'm just gonna make a rectangular one, but you could do a heart-shaped one or a dog or anything. So you can feel free to be creative. Okay, once you've done that, the next step is to cut out 2 pieces of conductive fabric that are about 3/4 the size of your phone. You want to make sure that they're not any bigger than your phone because they might touch even when your phone's inside, and then you wouldn't have an effective button. Okay, so then what you're going to do is sew them onto the inside of the pouch. So I'm going to use this blue embroidery floss, but you can use any kind of thread as long as it's not conductive. Okay, and for this you can just use a simple running stitch to something effective and easy, since it's going to be on the inside of your pouch and you won't really see it. So once you've sewed the conductive fabric onto the sides of your pouch, the next step is to take 2 pieces of the conductive loops, so the kind that won't stick to your clothing, onto the back of the pouch, so onto the right side, the side that'll be facing out, the same distance apart as the ground and live connections on the pouch you made in the last video. And this is the stage if you want to decorate the outside of your pouch with maybe embroidering your name or a flower or something, or if you want to decorate it with rhinestones or anything, this is the stage to do it, so before you sew the sides together. So once you've sewed the conductive fabric onto the sides of your pouch, the next step is to take 2 pieces of the conductive loops, so the kind that won't stick to your clothing, onto the back of the pouch, so onto the right side, the side that'll be facing out, the same distance apart as the ground and live connections on the pouch you made in the last video. And this is the stage if you want to decorate the outside of your pouch with maybe embroidering your name or a flower or something, or if you want to decorate it with rhinestones or anything, this is the stage to do it, so before you sew the sides together. So, to make my pouch for my phone personalized and beautiful, I sewed this panda and a party hat onto the front, And if I were doing this at home, I might have sewn the conductive fabric with matching thread, red, so that my panda can be the focal point. So you might consider doing that. I'm sewing it in contrasting thread just so it's easier to see, but yeah. Anyway, the next step is to connect with conductive thread the pads of hook and loop that is on the back of the pouch, to connect those to the conductive fabric. It's really important here that threads don't cross. So to start, if you open them up like this, take the one that's on the far left and sew it to the corner of this pad. And again, remember when you're sewing the conductive thread onto these pads to really make sure that you're gonna have a circuit, so at least 5 stitches so that the thread is really connected. Conductive pads onto the conductive fabric. Here, you can see I've really attached it really well, lots of stitches crossing over each other. The next step is to sew one side of the pocket all the way down so that when you open it, it'll be easy to connect the other pad to the other piece of conductive fabric without crossing over and touching the other piece of conductive fabric or the other piece of conductive thread and creating a short circuit. And so use normal, non-conductive thread for this. Okay, so now that you've done that, you can open the pocket, and then with the conductive thread again, connect this pad to the other one, to the other piece of conductive hook and loop. And really make sure not to touch with the thread this other pad. The next step is to sew an LED onto your bag where you want it. So I'm gonna put mine on my panda's party hat. But before we start, I would check again to make sure, just check to see what's matched up with the pads on the pouch you made in the last project and this bag from today. So in my pocket, this one is connected to 3v3, which is live, and this one is connected to ground. So I'm gonna keep that in mind because for the LED, I need to remember to connect the plus to live, so to this pad and the conductive piece of fabric that's connected to it. And I need to remember to connect the minus side to this pad, the ground side, that's also connected to this piece of conductive fabric. So to give you a quick demonstration of why that's important, to make sure you connect plus to live and minus to ground, you can use this meter. So if you set it to the continuity setting, so the red lead is the live and the black is ground. The way this works is the continuity setting will send a little bit of electricity through the leads, creating a circuit, if there is one. And it's just enough to light up the LED. So the positive lead, the live lead, goes to the positive side and the ground to the negative side. And there's a tiny little bit of light. It's quite dim because there's not that much charge, but it'll be brighter when you sew it onto your project. So it won't work if you do it the other way around. See, no light if you connect the ground to positive and live to negative side. So that's why if you want your LED to light up, it's really important to remember which pad you have to sew it to. So that's the next step. So take your conductive fabric and you can put your LED where you want it. And so I remember the positive side is facing this way and I'm connecting that here. The negative side, I'm gonna connect here. Okay, so now that you've tested the circuit for the bag you just made, The next step is to plug the battery in to the pouch that you made in the previous project. So once you've done that, you can connect them. Just really connect them nicely. Good. And the light should light up when you touch the two pieces of connector board together. So you did it. Well done. A beautiful pocket that lights up when your phone is inside, and when you take your phone out, turns off, which is so cool. So I hope you have fun making this project and experimenting with different ways to use all the LEDs in the kit. And yeah, leave your comments below. Thanks for watching.